It was a quiet morning at Rosie's Diner, the kind of small-town place where the smell of coffee and bacon greets you before the doorbell even stops ringing. The booths were full of regulars, truckers, retirees, and early risers, chatting softly under the warm hum of old neon lights. Everything was peaceful, until the rumble of motorcycles broke the calm. 3 bikers stormed in, leather vests and heavy boots echoing across the tiled floor. The diner went quiet. You could feel the tension shift, like a sudden chill in the room. Behind the counter, Rosie glanced up nervously. And sitting alone near the window, with a cane leaning beside her chair, was a woman, quiet, calm, wearing an old army jacket with a faded patch on the sleeve. She was sipping coffee, staring out at the morning sun. Hey friends, before we get into this story, if you believe that kindness still matters, if you believe that small acts can make a big difference, please take a second to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. It really helps more people hear stories that remind us what humanity is all about. This is Kindness Lights, where true stories and simple hearts inspire change. The woman's name was Sarah Matthews, a former army medic who had lost part of her leg in service overseas. She'd come home to a quiet town in North Carolina, living on her own and trying to rebuild a normal life. Every Friday morning, she came to Rosie's for the same simple breakfast: scrambled eggs, wheat toast, and black coffee. The bikers noticed her as soon as they walked in. One of them, a big man with tattoos down both arms, grinned cruelly. "Well, looky here," he said loud enough for the whole diner to hear. "A soldier girl, huh? What happened, sweetheart?" Couldn't handle the big guns. Sarah froze for a second, then gave a small, polite smile. "Just here for breakfast," she said quietly, but the man wasn't done. "Oh, come on now. Don't be shy. You think wearing that jacket makes you special?" His buddies laughed. Another one leaned closer. "Hey, show us your war wound. Bet it's just a scratch." The diner went completely still. Rosie's hands trembled as she refilled a coffee pot. A couple at the counter looked away, unsure what to do. Sarah's hand tightened around her coffee mug. "You don't need to do this," she said softly. The first biker smirked and leaned in closer. "Oh, I think we do." He reached forward and tugged lightly at the sleeve of her jacket, just enough to make her flinch. That's when the bell above the diner door rang again. 5 men walked in. Quiet. Focused. You could tell right away they weren't ordinary customers. They wore jeans and dark jackets, their movements calm but precise. The man in front was tall, with sharp eyes that scanned the room once before settling on Sarah. "Everything okay here, ma'am?" he asked. His voice was calm, but strong enough that everyone heard it. Sarah blinked in surprise. "I'm fine," she said. But her tone said otherwise. The lead biker turned around, half smirking. "Who are you supposed to be, hero?" The tall man took a step closer. "Just someone who respects those who've served," he said. "Now, I'm going to ask you once more, is everything okay?" The biker laughed. "Man, you don't want to get involved." The tall man exchanged a glance with his group, and in that quiet, unspoken moment, the diner realized who they were. One of them had a patch on his sleeve that read Navy SEALs Veteran Association. Rosie gasped softly. The biker's smirk faded. The tall man looked at Sarah again. "You shouldn't have to face that kind of disrespect," he said gently. Then, turning to the bikers, his voice hardened. "You think being loud makes you strong? Try showing respect. That's real strength." One of the bikers muttered under his breath, but the others shifted uncomfortably. The SEALs didn't raise their voices. They didn't need to. Their calm presence alone filled the room with quiet authority. Finally, the first biker looked down and mumbled, "We didn't mean anything." The SEAL leader nodded slowly. "Then you can apologize and leave." The bikers hesitated, then muttered an apology. Sarah looked at them, eyes steady but forgiving. "It's all right," she said softly. "Just, don't treat anyone like that again." They left, the bell over the door jingling behind them. The tension in the diner dissolved like air leaving a balloon. Sarah sat there for a moment, still gripping her coffee cup. The SEALs didn't crowd her or make a scene. The leader simply nodded. Once you served, he asked gently. She nodded. I was a medic in Afghanistan. A small smile crossed his face. My team and I just got back from a veterans event down the road. Saw the bikes out front, figured we'd stop in for some coffee. Guess timing worked out. Sarah smiled faintly. Yeah. Perfect timing. They joined her for breakfast. The mood shifted completely, laughter replacing tension, warmth filling the room again. Rosie brought over an extra pot of coffee, tears shining in her eyes as she whispered, "Thank you, all of you." Sarah looked around at these men who didn't even know her yet stepped in without hesitation. She felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, belonging. When the SEALs left, the diner crowd applauded quietly. Not for a fight avoided, but for the kindness shown, the quiet courage of people who stand up for others without expecting anything in return. Sarah stayed a little longer, staring out the window at the fading motorcycles in the distance. She thought about how simple acts, a kind word, a moment of courage, can change everything. That morning, the world reminded her that kindness doesn't always come with smiles and sunshine. Sometimes it walks in wearing dusty boots, speaking calmly, and choosing peace over pride. If there's one